Hi everybody, I'm Zilla and welcome to episode 6 in our campaign game with By Stealth and Sea, DVG's game of World War II tactical combat, where you command a team of Italian commandos in 9 underwater missions throughout the Mediterranean. We're going to Alexandria today for our 4th mission in this campaign. Our biggest opportunity up to date. In the middle of the Alexandria harbor sits the HMS Queen Elizabeth and the HMS Valiant, 2 massive battleships of the British Navy. Now, in real life, the commandos that attempted this mission significantly damaged and pretty much close to sank, taking out both the Queen Elizabeth and the Valiant. So our targets and our hopes for this mission are that we can come close to the historical counterparts. However, I should also say that historically, all 6 of the operators in this mission were captured for the remainder of the war. Will any of our operators survive this mission? Can we sink or damage the Queen Elizabeth and or the Valiant? These questions and more coming up in this episode of By Stealth and Sea. Let's jump in and get started. Ladies and gentlemen, we're looking down at the harbor of Alexandria on the 19th of December, 1941. We can see targets of opportunity inside the harbor breakwaters, and our 3 SLCs are just outside the wall. Their mission will be to come through these torpedo nets and attack targets of opportunity. In particular, the HMS Valiant, which is sitting relatively unprotected in the middle of the harbor, and the HMS Queen Elizabeth a little bit farther in, but still not nestled farther back as we would be probably expecting to see. Now, before we jump into this mission, let's do a quick recap of our missions to date. We've had 3 missions, we've sunk 4 ships, we've accumulated 18 victory points. We've lost 2 of our crews killed in action, and we've had 1 crew captured. This mission tonight, as we transition to this one, is going to be one of our most dangerous missions because it's very hard to escape from. In game terms, there's a -2 die roll modifier applied to escape rolls on this mission. So the crews that will be going in tonight, and historically, again, all 3 of the crews were captured in real life, the crews that are going in tonight have very low odds of surviving this mission. With that in mind, however, let me introduce you to our 3 crews. First up, Kujimani and Jimmy J will be boarding SLC number 1. Their mission, as our most highly experienced crew, they picked up an experience point in the last mission, by the way, which we did give to them as a repair skill. Their mission will be to come through the torpedo net, hopefully getting to the HMS Valiant and blowing it up. On SLC number 2, Walichi and Lille, who are coming back for their 2nd mission. They're going to try to break in, if they can, attack this target of opportunity and then escape. SLC number 3, Patrici and Cruse, our other experienced crew, who we've given a repair point because of their success in the last mission. They're going to try to come in, perhaps hit this HMS Hasty, a destroyer that's just inside the nets. Depending on how things go, if they have time, we'd like to see if they can get them in farther. But the enemy defenses are now better. Because of our success in previous missions, the Patrol Craft Attack card has moved to a higher level, and the defense level of the harbors in general in all of our missions going forward will be 1 point greater. It's up to defense level 3 now. That means that attacks against our SLCs are going to be more successful. Technology-wise, with the 18 accumulated points that we've got, we spent 4 of the ones that were remaining on this Laros card, which gives us a better starting position for the harbor of Alexandria. If we didn't take this card, we would have been forced to start with only 1 surge token as well as 2 fault mistakes. And we've seen in our first mission how badly that goes. Now we have 7 victory points left that we could spend to upgrade things, but that doesn't really leave us some good opportunities. So I'm going to hold those and save those for future use. With all that being said, that covers everything we need to know to jump into the mission. So let's jump into our 12:30 a.m. turn and let's roll for the faults, the things that have gone wrong with the SLCs just getting to this point in the mission, to the starting point, and then we will begin our mission. Let's roll for each of our fault checks on our 3 SLCs. Everyone starts with the fault check as they start out this mission. Jimmy J and Kujimani on SLC number 1 pick their first fault check. It is a ballast tank fault. This would force them to have to fix this before they would be able to submerge. However, With their new and improved repair skill, on a roll of a 5 or a 6, they would fix this and avoid the problem. And because their repair level is 2 now, they get to roll twice. Get a 5 or a 6, guys. Gah, 4 and a 2. Not off to a good start here. So we have a ballast tank fault that they will need to fix first before they'll be able to submerge. Let's go to SLC number 2 now. We're going to pick for their card. This is Walisi and Lille. They get a battery fault. Repair check of a 5 or a 6. Their skill level is only 1 because they're still inexperienced. They did not pick up any experience in their first mission. Need a 5 or 6 to fix it. A 4. Gosh, so that battery token is gone. Now that doesn't hinder their performance at all unless it were to happen again. If it happens again and they lose that second token on their battery is completely broken, and that means they cannot move at all. So hopefully we don't get a second one for SLC number 2. Let's move on to SLC number 3. SLC number 3 with Patricia and Cruce, who had an absolutely perfect mission their first time out. Even though they were inexperienced and it was their first time, we get a breathing gear fault. Oh, this isn't good. This would be one of their free die rolls. They need a 6 to fix it, however. And now, since their repair skill is a 2, we get 2 dice rolls, hoping for a 6. Oh my goodness, they've done it again. Another 6. I think they repaired everything in the previous mission. We've got MacGyver here. That's who it is. One of them is definitely MacGyver. So the breathing gear fault does not slow them down. They keep both of their tokens, which are very, very good to have. Let's now move on to roll for our first turn. So the mission officially starts now. We're going to roll for our first turn and see which one of our SLCs has that fault at the beginning of the turn. So if you do one more, we get a 3, okay? That makes me feel somewhat optimistic because of the fact that Patricia and Lily are so good at fixing stuff. All right, another breathing gear fault. Can they get another 6? This would be amazing. A 1 and a 4. No, okay, this time the gods fail them. They get a breathing gear token gone, so they'll lose one of their bonus dice rolls, which are actually big because I'm thinking we might need those to be able to have crews escape at the end of the mission if we want anyone to survive. So that's a big loss for Patricia and Cruce, who for the first time, I think, have had a repair roll fail. Now let's go into the harbor and move our forces forward. All right, here we are. We're going to be a little bit bold with SLC number 1 because I think we have to be bold for this mission to succeed, unfortunately. We are going to spend one of their action points and try to have them repair the ballast tank. They need a 5 or a 6 on one of these 2 dice. This is a big roll. Yes! Oh, good. They got a 5. So, off camera, I'm putting back on the marker onto their ballast tank, which means that it's functional and they've fixed that. Now, we're going to have them make one more roll. They're going to try to use their pilot point, which they can make 2 dice rolls for too, and they are going to try to submerge. So this is a 50% chance of success for them, and they need a 4, 5, or a 6 on this roll. 2 dice. A 4. Excellent. They get it. So, Kujimani and Jimmy J, with utmost efficiency, fix the problem with the ballast tank and successfully submerge to get underwater as they start the mission here. That's excellent. That was a good start for us. Now, very simply, both Walishe and Lille and SLC number 2 don't have any repair skill or piloting skill, so we're going to use both of their action points to get them submerged. Likewise, we're going to do the same thing with Patricia and Cruce, use both of their action points to get them automatically submerged. That brings us to the end of our action turn. We're in pretty good shape, I think, relatively speaking, because all of our crews now are successfully underwater, and it's time to choose for the harbor defense. So I'm going to do this off camera and show the results. Alrighty, go us! Nothing detected. Neither searchlights nor patrol craft spotted us this evening. Maybe we've got some cloud cover helping us out here. So that brings us to the end of the 12:30 turn. Let's move to the 1 a.m. hour. We're going to start that off with a roll to see which one of our SLCs has something go wrong with it. It is SLC number 2, so let's go make that check. Alrighty, SLC number 2. Now we note they already had a battery fault. If it's a battery fault, we're in trouble. Ooh, transmission fault. Repair check of a 5 or a 6. Transmission would mean they could only do 1 action point, so they would probably want to try to fix that right away. However, let's see if they can fix it as it happens. They get out their wrenches. They get a 4. Darn it. So we lose this transition token. It goes onto the fault card, which will stick there. They can only take 1 action until they fix the transmission. So let's now go into our turn outside of the harbor. We have a plan. We are going to have Kujimani and Jimmy J and SLC number 1. They're going to move forward, which is an automatic move and successful for them with 1 point. And then we're going to try to turn them, which is a piloting move underwater. They need a 4, 5, or a 6 to succeed on either of these 2 dice. We get a 5 on one of them, 5s on both of them. So they successfully turn. And now this points them, although you can't see it, right towards the torpedo net. So they are right on target. Now, SLC number 2, Lille and Walice, with that transmission fault, that's going to hamper them too much. And the dice roll isn't really in our favor. So we're going to have them spend both of their action points to automatically fix the transmission fault. So off camera, we've taken care of that. That will leave them in this position submerged underwater. SLC number 3, with Patrice and Cruce, are going to move forward underwater straight ahead for 2. And that's going to put them in the same square, the same position as Kujimani and Jimmy J. A little bit risky, right? Because if we get attacked in that square, the attacks, we pull for each attack. So having SLCs in the same square does not seem like a good idea. But I think in the next turn, we'll be able to break that and get them apart. So, and we're not going to be able to get attacked on this turn, given that we weren't detected in the previous turn. So now let's go for the detection pulls for the harbor defenses. I'm going to do those off camera, and we'll show the results. Once again, harbor defenses totally fail. With the so far so good. Now the bad part about this, right, is that it's a card deck, so that we know the bad cards are coming up. But we had 6 consecutive attempts to find us, 3 with searchlights and 3 with patrol craft. Nothing spotted. So we move on now to the 1:30 a.m. turn. We will roll for our fault on which one of our SLCs we'll get here. So here we go. SLC number 3, Patricia and Cruce, they are our repair experts. So if anyone gets a fault, we hope it would be them. Let's see what fault we have for them. We get warhead fault. Oh, repair check is tough because we're using the prototype here, or the really bad one. So we need to make a roll of a 6 on the repair, but the repair skill of 2 gives them 2 shots at it, hoping for a 6. Yes! Nice! They come through again! Patrice and Lily, with their amazing repair skills, take care of that warhead problem with no difficulty at all. Let's go back to our 1:30 move on the board now. All right, Kujimani and Jimmy J are going to start us off by using 1 action point to do a move, which is automatically successful. That gets them going towards this torpedo net here. Now, we're taking a risk here. We can do now a full move to follow that, which means that they have to roll on their piloting skill. They need a 4, 5, or 6 to succeed. If they do, they'll be able to move forward 2, get a 5 and a 1, 5 and a 2, it looks like. Excellent. So that gives them success on that. So their full move moves them forward 2. They are now at the edge of the torpedo net and almost inside the harbor. Very good. All right. SLC number 2 is going to move ahead. Let's have them spend 1 to move ahead full. I'll move ahead there. Then they're going to try to do a turn. Now they need to make this maneuver in order to make this maneuver, it's a 4, 5, or 6 on the die roll, and they have only 1 die to do this. So hopefully we can get some success as they try to turn underwater. A 2. They fail. They stay in the same direction. SLC number 3 with Patrice and Cruce, of course, are going to try to make that same maneuver. We're actually going to spend both of their points, and we're going to have them do that automatically. I want to have them get kind of pointed in the right direction. So we're going to have them just make that maneuver right away. So that takes us to the end here of our actions in the 1:30 turn. Let's go now to the harbor defenses, which so far have been quiet. Our good fortune somewhat continues, is perhaps the way to put this. Unfortunately, though, Kujimani and Jimmy J aboard SLC number 1 are detected by a patrol craft, which comes screaming out of the harbor right in front of them as they approach the torpedo nets. That ends this turn, however. No attacks, because they're exhausted when they get there. They've burned up their points. We will flip them over to end the turn. We move our marker to 2 a.m. We're now about 2 hours into our mission. SLC number 2 and 3 making steady progress, if not a little bit slow, but so far quiet, undetected. SLC number 1, our best progress so far, however, finds themselves now under threat of attack. Let's start our 2 a.m. turn to see what went wrong with one of our SLCs. Figures. Okay, SLC number 1. We'll have to check it on their card. Kujimani and Jimmy J. Let's see what kind of a fault we get. Hoping for something not too bad, like the battery would be good. Ballast tank. Oh, gosh. So if it's a ballast tank, they would have to pop up to the surface right in front of this patrol craft. This is a big roll. We might actually roll this one again if we fail it. We need a 5 or a 6 to successfully fix it, and their repair skill is 2, so they get 2 shots. 5. Yes. Excellent. Good. So, no problem with the ballast tank. That's been fixed, and they can move on. Let's go now to our actions back outside the harbor of Alexandria. Kujimani and Jimmy J are going to expend both of their action points to do what's called evade the torpedo net. This will keep them underwater and submerged and allow them to go under the torpedo net right inside the harbor. Now, they are a little bit precariously positioned right underneath patrol craft number 1. Hopefully, they do not get detected in this turn, because by doing that move and staying underwater, they do lose the detection, and the patrol craft has no idea where we went. SLC number 3, which is next in line now, is going to move both of their points and move forward 2 squares. SLC number 2, Lille and Walise, are going to take their full turns and make it submerged move just to get them pointed in the right direction. My hope is that we can get them inside the harbor, maybe hit this one, so I think we have a little bit of time to try to succeed at that. If we can just get them inside the harbor, they'll get an experience point, which would be a gain in and of itself, should they then be able to survive the mission. So let's now go towards the patrol craft response here. Once again, the gods shine on us pretty well here. We missed a couple of detection attempts by one single number. However, Walise and Lille and SLC number 2 are detected by a patrol craft, which pops up right in front of them there. Now, they are expended here. They've used their gasoline getting to them, so they don't move on this turn. However, the big roll here is patrol craft number 1. Now, the other crews were able to remain undetected. We're continuing our good luck here so far with this. However, this is a movement for a roll for movement now for patrol craft number 1. We want them to move off of Patrice and of Kujimani and Jimmy J and SLC number 1 so that they don't get attacked. So we're looking for a 1 through 6. 1. Yes, excellent. That means our patrol craft moves off of us to the northwest here. So they have left SLC number 1, and SLC number 1 does not get attacked. Now we go to our 2:30 a.m. turn. We flip this one over. It's now active and on the board, and we need to roll to see what our fault check is on this turn. Let's roll see which one has a fault. It is SLC number 2. Ooh, that's not good, because they are right in front of the patrol craft and detected. Okay, let's go check that one out on our SLC. This is a big pull for them. Something bad happens here. It could be really bad. Breathing gear fault. Okay, that's not too bad, because that would just lose them one of their 2 tokens if that happens, because they have 2 at the moment. So let's see if they can fix it on the spot. They need a 6 with 1 die. Oh, yes! Nice work by Lille and Walisi. So they survive that, which is good. Whoops, we keep the token. I don't take it away. What am I doing? So that's good. Now let's go to our 2:30 a.m. turn. So we're going to start out with Kujimani and Jimmy J. They have a path now straight to the HMS Valiant here, which is going to be a turn, forward 2, turn, forward 2. And that if it fails and they have to go forward, they can continue on and get on line with the Queen Elizabeth. But I think it's worth the risk. We're going to have them spend 1 point and try to successfully turn underwater. They need to do it on their pilot skill, a 4, 5, or 6. A 6. Excellent. Good. So we're going to have them just pivot like that. Now they're going to do a full move, which means that they need to roll a 4, 5, or 6 on 2 dice to move ahead to. Yes! They're on fire. Kujimani and Jimmy J go flying forward, moving forward into the harbor. They are drawing closer to the HMS Valiant. Okay, now, let's do this here. For SLC number 3, which is Patricia and Cruce, we're going to have them move forward with 1 of their points, and that's automatic, and they still have 1 left over. Before we go on, we're going to you'll see them appear here. We're going to have SLC number 2, which is Walise and Lille, are going to go under the patrol craft that was up there. Let's just slide this up a little bit to see it. They're going to go under the patrol craft that was on them, come up the other side here, still submerged, and that loses their detection token. So they are back into our field of view. Now we do have one action point left for SLC number 3, which is Patrice and Cruce. They are going to try to take their luck at getting inside the harbor. To do this, they would have to kind of evade the torpedo net. Evading the torpedo net is a roll of a 4, 5, or 6 if they only have one action point. If they succeed, they will be inside the harbor. I can't see it. Where is it? It is that one. A 4. Excellent. Nice. So they are inside the harbor as well. Things going pretty well for us so far. All right. So let's now go for harbor detection. All righty. Misfortune strikes to a certain degree, although most of our SLCs had luck in staying undetected. SLC number 1 survived both of its attempts. SLC number 2 did not get detected as it made its way towards the harbor under that patrol craft. SLC number 3, however, as they tried to evade the torpedo net, were spotted by patrol craft number 3, comes flying out of the harbor. They, in turn, as we see now as these patrol craft will move, they will signal to patrol craft number 1, who comes bearing down on SLC number 3, to attack them. Before we resolve that, we do have to make the move for patrol craft number 2, which has lost contact with SLC number 3, but that does mean they are going to move randomly to try to find them, or at least searching around. So we're going to roll for their movement. It is a 7. A 7 means they stay in place, which is good, and they are too far, actually they're too far away to go after this one because they're 4 squares away. 3 squares away, they would move automatically towards this one. So they do that random movement and they stay where they are. So that's good for SLC number 2. Of bigger import, though, right now, however, is the fate of SLC number 3, which is going to get attacked by patrol craft number 1. Now, the harbor defenses have improved since our last mission. As a result of harbor defense level 3, patrol craft attacks are more efficient. They are submerged. A 9 or greater would be a hit. We only have 6 cards left, and I know one of them is that deadly 12. Let's see what happens with SLC number 3, Patrice and Cruce, who have had such a successful career so far. Ah, it is the 12. Darn it. Okay, so they are stunned. We're flipping over their operator card, and that's not a good thing for Patrice and Cruce. All right, so we have to end this turn. Patrice and Cruce are stunned. We'll now head to the 3 a.m. turn. 2 patrol crafts attacking SLC number 3. They are detected. What shall we do? Let's find out in turn number 3 and the 3 a.m. turn. However, we have to start that off with a roll to see which one of our SLCs has a fault. It is SLC number 2. Walice and Lille have a problem with their SLC. Let's resolve that. All right, let's see what kind of fault we have here. Oh, the dreaded wetsuit fault. However, they have had some luck. We need a 5 or a 6 to repair it. Otherwise, they are stunned. Gosh, it's not going so well all of a sudden. So 5 or 6 we need. A 1. So Walice and Lille are stunned as they have detect a leak in their wetsuit. Cold water comes flooding inside them. Their movement gets sluggish. And just like that, in the span of a half an hour, we have 2 of our SLC crews stunned and groggy. Only SLC number 1 is fully functional. The wetsuit goes kaput for Walice and Lille. Let's now go to our action and our movement. Many things to take care of here. SLC number 1, which is moving ahead relatively steadily here, is going to try to turn and head towards the HMS Valiant at the northeast corner of the screen here. So to successfully turn with the pilot move, they're going to use one of the 2 action points. They need a 4, 5, or 6 on 2 dice. 3 and a 1. They do not successfully turn. So we are going to change tactics with them. We can't try to turn twice in the same. You can't try the same maneuver twice in the same turn. So we're going to have them try to go straight ahead down here. Then they can turn and head towards the HMS Elizabeth. So we will have them need a 4, 5, or 6 on 2 dice again. 3 and a 1. Double fail for Kujimani and Jimmy J. They stay where they are. Let's go now to SLC number 3. This was a tough choice here. Patrice and Cruce are stunned and detected. They do have one, I think, powerful move here to lose detection, though. They are going to stay underwater and use one of their action points. and move straight ahead under patrol craft number 3. Let me just do that, and then I will resume here. So after that move, they end up under patrol craft number 3, but they've lost detection on them. So hopefully, if these two SLCs can stay undetected this turn, we'll be okay, and we won't get attacked again. Then maybe they can recover and try to either hit this hasty down here or perhaps even escape. SLC number 2, which is Walise and Lille, they have been stunned by the fault on their breathing gear, on their wetsuits here. So we're going to try to have them recover. They need a 5 or a 6 to do so. I just don't think, unless you can recover, they're just not going to make it forward here. So let's zoom up and take a look at them. So for Walise and Lille, we're going to have them try to recover. They need a 5 or a 6 to do so, to get their get ungroggy and not be stunned. 2. So they stay there and do not recover yet. It's just, with the 1 action point, it's really hard to move forward. So now let's do the harbor response. Alrighty, so let's see how the patrol craft respond here. These are big pulls for us. The fate of Patrice and Cruce could hang in the balance with this one here. We're going to pull an alert cart first for SLC number 1 on the searchlights. An 11 or greater would detect them. Get an 8. Now this is a newly reshuffled deck, and I've removed the 2 from it, which was the lowest result in there. Let's go to SLC number 2. They also need a 10 or less to stay undetected. They just get it. They're only they're our only SLC out of the harbor. If they were, nope, actually they were good even if it were in the harbor. Now we go to SLC number 3. A 3, excellent. They're easily undetected. Now the more important ones, perhaps, well, just as important, are the patrol craft. Let's see. We have Jimmy J and Kujimani are inside the harbor and submerged, so a 9 or greater picks them off. 8 or less doesn't. We get a 6. They fortunately stay undetected. SLC number 2 is outside the harbor, so they need a 10 or greater to be picked off. They get a 9. Ooh, that would have been successful had it been in a different order. And then SLC number 3, Patrice and Cruce, hoping to stay undetected. This is big. They're inside the harbor. We need an 8 or less. Oh, very lucky. Nice. That was outstanding for us. So we are now, we're going to clean, that's nothing. Oh, actually, sorry. We do have one thing left to do, which is the random movement of the patrol craft. So let's roll for those moves here. It's like, I guess it's fair to say we are not out of the woods yet. Patrol craft number 1, we'll do them in numerical order. Right here, we'll make its first move. We're rolling on the die to see which direction they go. They get a 6, which sends them close to, but not on top of, SLC number 3. So that's good. That avoids an attack there. Now we'll do SLC number 2, which is perilously close to patrol craft number 2, which is perilously close to SLC number 2. You get a 6. Ooh, I thought that was going to be on top, but it's not. They go to the southwest as well, keeping us out of trouble. A bigger roll here. Patrol craft number 3, our last one, right on top of Patrice and Cruce. They don't have to detect them to attack them. I guess they're just assumed to be tossing depth charges out the window, or out the overboard here. Patrol craft number 3, we want them to move away, so we need a 6 or less. A 4, excellent. That sends them, ooh, it does send them inside the harbor and precariously close to Jimmy J and Kujimani. But we are fortunate in this 3 a.m. turn in that no patrol craft ends up on top of us. Nothing detects us. The gods have shined down on us in this half hour, although we have 2 crews stunned. And this takes us about halfway through this mission, probably about a half an hour or so. So we are going to stop here and continue on this episode in our next, continue on this adventure mission in our next episode. Jimmy J and Kujimane are drawing close to either the Valiant or the Queen Elizabeth. Could they be get our first extraordinarily kind of historic sinkage here? Will Patrice and Cruce aboard SLC number 3 be able to recover their wits and survive? Likewise, SLC number 2, Walise and Lille are stunned and floundering about. Can they recover and get back on track and perhaps get inside the harbor and get an experience point? And then, even after all that, we have to see if we can recover any of our heroes, as this is a particularly difficult harbor to be successfully extracted from. We will continue on in the next episode. If you've enjoyed this one, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new, please please consider subscribing. We will be back. I'm going to change the pattern for these a little bit, so I think we will see the rest of this episode in 3 days' time. So I'm going to change it a little bit from the weekly format to move forward a little bit faster on this. So we'll be back in 3 days with the conclusion of our 4th mission. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Have a great day.